If there's one game genre that I have absolutely loved for pretty much my entire life, it has to be the arena shooter. I grew up playing games like Halo. In fact, that was my introduction to first-person shooters in general, and some of my personal best moments in games in general have come from that genre itself. In fact, I would say that's a decent portion of why I enjoy things like the hero shooter genre so much as well. And that's why today we're going to be talking about Splitgate, because recently they revealed that Splitgate 2 is coming out. Not only did they reveal it was coming out, they revealed gameplay for it, and it's launching in 2025. So, will Splitgate 2 be able to succeed? What can they learn from the past game? And why is there a Splitgate 2? Welcome to this week's Meaty Monday. The original Splitgate was developed by 4 people as the first game they ever produced, made by a company called 1047 Games. The game launched in April of 2019 with a max player count of 11,000. After this point, for the next 2 years, they spent a lot of time making small improvements to the game as they learned and tried to make it the best product it could be, until the point where everyone knew about Splitgate when it launched on consoles in July of 2021, where the game hit a concurrent player count on Steam alone of 67,000 players. Now, mind you, this is on Steam alone. The game was also playable on Xbox and PS5, but also the Xbox One and PS4, which I would bet a large margin were considerably higher than the Steam release of the game ever was. This led to a lot of server problems, which most people remember Splitgate for now, and the game dying out pretty soon after, coinciding with a certain other game's launch. Now, when your main selling point is Halo with portals and Halo without portals launches a month or two later, and when the game is already starting to lose a lot of its player base, that's not going to look great either. So what can we learn from all of this? Well, in my opinion, the devs did the right thing. They took the funding, continued to support the game, and once there was a clear sign that the game was not going to bounce back to its previous numbers, they didn't exactly jump ship, but switched their development goal into making a new game that they could actually support with a more competent dev team on a newer engine, and with proper backing and support to make something that actually could have a chance to compete with major first-person shooter releases when it launches. So we've covered the backstory to this, what happened to the original game, but what can we learn from the design of the actual game so that when this game launches, it doesn't die in a week? So I booted up Splitgate for the first time in 3 years, with the hopes of being able to find some games to record footage for this video. The first thing that I noticed was the shop is either bugged or they set everything to free when they stopped doing support for this game. Either way, that's cool. All of these guns are free right now. What the fuck? Like, literally everything is free. What the hell? So after just playing a few games of Splitgate, everything started to sort of come back. The funness of using portals for fun off angles or flanking, crazy movement and the amazing map design built around that movement, and the tightness of the gunplay, the fastness of the time to kill, the announcer sounding like an off-brand Halo announcer. But that's also when it started to kind of hit me. This game really is just Halo with portals, and I think that's the biggest problem with the game. The most beautiful part about playing an arena shooter like Halo is the sandbox. And the sandbox of this game is fine, but it's missing those things that really make Halo fun. Halo's got things like vehicles and crazy physics to it. So if you take the guns from Halo and the only thing you add to it is this portal system, sure, the portal aspect of it is going to be novel. The actual movement and gunplay of the game is all going to feel like stuff that's kind of already been there. Splitgate kind of just feels like a modded Halo game, where instead of a new armor ability they added in portal guns. For the next game to actually suck players in and have them play the game, it needs to offer something that isn't just Halo. Let's look at the weapon roster of Splitgate 1. You have the assault rifle, battle rifle, the bat, EMP grenades, your fists, the flag, the oddball, pistol, plasma rifle, railgun, rocket launcher, shotgun, SMG, and sniper. It's not a bad roster of weapons. The problem is, not only do all of these guns play virtually identical to their Halo counterparts, half of them have the same names. Like the split ball being the oddball. Whoa, holy shit. Like, some of them function a little bit more differently, but part of the appeal of an arena shooter is these crazy, wacky weapons. Most of these weapons are your standard list of weapons, and the few that are the more unique things like the railgun, is also in Halo. A rocket launcher feels exactly like Halo. Hell, even the baseball bat feels like Halo. The game's also missing a very important core feature of Halo, which is actual grenade. Because of the fact that you have the EMP grenades for the portals, and the portals take a dedicated button, you really just have the weapons and the movement. You don't have things like cool grenades or armor abilities. You're stuck with a sandbox that consists of maps where you can use portals very creatively, but the arsenal isn't that creative. So the sandbox all kind of ends up feeling very samey. The game kind of just boils down to portals and gunplay. There's no real utility or fun stuff like that. But let's see what they say about Splitgate 2 to see if this game is going to suffer the same fate.
It's no longer just portaling and gunplay. It's like factions comboing with utility, the abilities.
Dude, the grenades are so good. I just threw 2 a point, got 2 with the nades.
Wait, so you mean to tell me that the main selling point of Splitgate 2 is that they've overhauled the weapon and character sandboxes? They kept portals relatively the same, but made it so that characters have their own unique abilities and classes and different weapons. Is that fucking Aspen? That don't just look and feel like Halo weapons, or if they do, they at least have their own personal flair. The game has its own identifiable art style now. The characters aren't just sort of a jumbled mess like they were in the first Splitgate game. Now, it looks as if these abilities seem to be tied to some sort of loadout system. If we look at this loadout screen, we can see that picking the character allows you to choose sort of your abilities and your team trait. It also appears that you get to choose your primary and secondary weapons, as well as choose some sort of grenade to use. I would assume things like health grenade, sticky grenade, EMP grenade, etc. Then there appears to be some sort of either equipment or perks. I don't know what and one eye for equipment necessarily means, but probably something along those lines. While we're here, let's also talk about the new weapons that are shown off in this. They show off a pistol called the Slinger, a DMR called the Warden, an SMG called the Sprinter. They show off this sort of energy weapon AR called Synapse, a shotgun called Plow. And then they get really crazy with this gun that's an assault rifle, but it splits into these 2 like SMGs. Like, what the hell? Now, the weapons that are available in this trailer all look really good. I am a little bit worried about the presence of a loadout system in this game. A Halo game, Halo 4, had loadouts in it, and it was probably my least favorite Halo game of all time. People stopped playing that one really, really quick, because the thing is, when you have an arena shooter with a bunch of weapons all over the map, the presence of weapons on that map forces you to learn the map, learn different weapons. You can't just use your favorite weapon all the time. It might not spawn on certain maps. It might run out of ammo and you've got to improvise with other weapons. The weapon you spawn with might not be that great, but it might be more of a jack of all trades, but you need more range pressure, so you have to go out of your way to find where the range spawns are on the map. It's exciting, it makes them feel fresh. It's one of the only elements of arena shooters that keeps them consistently good. And while in this video they do specifically say there will be power weapons,
there's going to be more game modes, more guns, more power weapons, more maps.
I worry that the separation between guns and power weapons is intentional. I don't think there will be weapon spawns on these maps aside from maybe 1 power weapon per map. And you know, that could be a good thing, that could be a bad thing. The main reason I'm concerned is the first game played it very close to Halo. The second game not playing like Halo isn't really a bad thing. If anything, it's kind of a good thing. It means it's no longer Halo with portals, but it is Splitgate. The weapon design, the character design, the different classes, and power weapons being a feature, make the game feel like it's sort of carving out its own niche. The reason the first one was called Halo with Portals so much is because it just had Halo's entire fucking arsenal. So if you're gonna put in a loadout system, the least that you can do is surround that loadout system with a bunch of unique guns inside of the loadouts and a bunch of absolutely wacky ass power weapons outside of the loadout system. It sounds like this is what they're doing, which is exciting. And it's also exciting that this game is finally going to have its own identity. It's also worth noting that this game's developers seem just chill as fuck. The entirety of this game seems to be built around making things to be as fun as possible. By this game, I mean Splitgate 1. Splitgate 2 might be super corporate, I don't know. But the amount of game modes that are in the first game that are just absolutely crazy, the amount of like free bonuses and login rewards and monetary rewards they give you for playing the game, even now when it's not supported anymore. The fact that the game still has like a weirdly die-hard group of players that still play it day in and day out. You find games faster in this than you do in like Overwatch competitive. And I guarantee there is not the number of players that are in Overwatch playing this. I don't know. I mean, it's kind of cute. It's a fun game right now, and I'm very excited for the sequel for it. Because if it has like 10% of the care that the first game has with a higher budget, it's gonna be a good-ass game. The concerns I'm putting forward aren't because I don't think Splitgate will be good, or because I'm one of those fucking morons online that's like, dead game, can't enjoy dead game. But mostly just trying to put forward things that will make the game as good as possible, in my opinion. These things might not be what need to happen, but, you know, if they do some of them, it might be a good time. And that's all I got for you this week. Tell me below what video you want me to do next. What game should I play this next week? I don't got shit. I don't got Overwatch, so I'm kind of quarter-life crisising over here. I don't know what games I'm supposed to play. Spent the last week just playing Civ 6 and the role-playing as a Greek person.
I figured out, man. Hips out, eating grapes all day. Fucking dudes.
Anyways, you should follow me on Twitch and like and subscribe. Happy Monday, fucker.